Football!
It's pronounced soccer!
Meet our main guy, Yuichi Isagi. He's balling hard in a match between Ichinan High School against Matsukaze Kokuo. This dude is determined to go to nationals and is gonna do anything to get there. And by this dude, I mean both of them. Isagi dribbles past most of the defenders in style, making them look like complete clowns. And now it is time for the ultimate test. The time to shoot through the net. Just as Isagi's about to channel his inner striker mode, he hears his friend asking for a pass and decides to give it to him. I get that he thinks his teammate would score for sure, but come on, buddy, you're literally in the keeper's face, bro. However, the 100% winning pass immediately reaches 0% when his teammate misses. The opposing team pushes a counter with Kida Ryosuke scoring a banger, sealing their victory. Isagi is forced to watch Kida's post-match interview, thinking it could have been him if he had a brain. His team is out here trying to console each other, talking about how they were still a good team who played a great game. Isagi, however, feels differently. In his mind, they are nothing but losers who will be forgotten tomorrow because someone else is going to the nationals and not them. On his way home, he thinks about his idol Noel Noah, wondering if he will ever reach such a top level because it starts with winning the nationals and our boy just wasted his chance by relying on a teammate. He lets out a big shout, unable to suppress his frustrations, probably hoping that it would somehow teleport on nationals, but no. Despite his loss, Isagi still gets a letter from the Japanese Football Union, JFU, making him wonder what they wanted to do with a loser like him. He opens it to see that they recognized him as a certified athlete and invited him to a specific program. Outside the JFU building, he meets Kida Ryosuke, who has also been given the privileges because come on, man, just scored the winning goal the other day. Kida is super nice to him, even recognizing his skills from the game they played, making Isagi blush like a maiden. They head inside the facility only to see a bunch of vegetable-haired guys looking as tough as they can. They're welcomed by a man named Igo Jinpachi, who looks like he's been plucking his eyelashes and eating them for dinner. Seriously though, why does he look like that? Jinpachi introduces himself as the host of the program and the man hired by JFU to make Japan's dream of winning the World Cup true. Now, offense to the Japanese football team, but that right there just proves that this anime is a work of fiction. They ain't ever gonna win the World Cup. I'm sorry. Igo here mentions that Japan is already a super team and only needs a striker, a once-in-a-lifetime revolutionary striker to make the dreams of the World Cup come true. For this to happen, the 300 young players that have been invited will be participating in the Blue Lock Project, a facility designed specifically to produce one out of those 300, that one being the ultimate striker. They have a moment of hesitation, of protest, but after Igo mentions the mindset of Noel Noah, who is more concerned with scoring than winning, they decide to barge in like sheep. Frick, that's all it took? Isagi is the first one to walk in though, mostly because Igo is talking about playing solely for oneself, and he literally bottled a game by thinking his teammate would be there for him. In the facility, Isagi is assigned the number 299 and sent to room Z, where 11 other players are already present. He finds a familiar face in Kida, and I don't know if this is a good turn of events or not. They all have different reasons to play soccer, but only one reason to be there. Everyone wants to win. Igo tells them that ranking is based on their abilities as a player, and out of the 300 players, being 299th doesn't exactly look good. Basically, he's 299th out of 300. Who's 300? Igo arranges a game of tag for the 11 players inside, where the last one to touch the ball will have to kiss their soccer career goodbye. It boils down to a player named Meguru Bachida, who decides to pass the ball to Isagi. Upon getting the ball, Isagi has a choice to kick it into an injured Igarashi's face, but something inside him clicks, and my guy blasts it into Kida's face instead. Meanwhile, in the JFU, the Japanese team takes yet another exit from the round of 16. Henri Tillery, who is an active participant in the Blue Lock Project, is kind of like the only one who genuinely cares for the team and wants Igo to succeed. The other board members just see the profit and don't care about legacy. Kida is unable to believe what just happened as his nose starts to bleed from the ball's impact. He tries to justify himself by pointing out the flaws in Igo's methods, but Igo doesn't care and Kida's gotta go. He leaves without much of a scene, but the man looked as if he would chew Isagi's head off right this very moment. Igo is also impressed over the fact that Bachida chose to go right after the strongest player and Isagi chose to batter someone better than himself, despite having a clear chance in front of him. With this, the admission exam comes to an end, and out of the 12 players, only 11 remain, and they are now a single team living together, fighting with and against each other. And so we have the formation of the Blue Lock Team Z. Soon after, Isagi starts to realize that most of the other guys, except for the one ranked 300th, have basically vastly better physicality and athleticism in comparison to his own. Seeing how completely outclassed he is, Izuki decides to sleep late and goes for late night training. There he is joined by Bachida, the same guy who passed the ball to him during tag. They decide to train together, and when Izuki asks why he passed the ball to him, Bachida changes his entire expression. He starts to explain how he hears the voice of a monster inside of him while playing, and at that moment, the monster told him to pass the ball. Okay, man. He points out that there is a monster inside Izuki as well, and the sooner he finds it, the faster he will improve. Izuki buys his talk, realizing that he was not himself when he blessed the ball into Kida's face. An announcement is made where Ego clarifies the current situation at the Blue Lock facility. Among the 300 guys, 25 of them are gone thanks to the tag game. The remaining 275 of them have been arranged from teams B to Z, so the ranking does matter, and the 11 guys in Team Z are the worst among the total 275. So this bald dude is the last among the least. Elsewhere, a top player from Japan, Itoshi Sae, is being interviewed about his little trip back to his hometown. They ask if he had any desire to play in Japan, but my man wants none of that. He basically says no one in Japan is good enough for his passes, and he'd rather play in a college than the domestic leagues. Mr. Cool is about to exit the building after giving a seemingly disastrous interview, but he then sees JFU's Henri passionately talking about Blue Lock in a press conference. They sell the project so hard, the man decides to cancel his flight on the spot and wants to see what player they'd produce. As for our kiddos in Blue Lock, the teams are divided into groups, with each group consisting of 5 teams. Huh? Wait, hold on. I think I just... What? I didn't understand a single word of what I just said. Okay, well, what matters is that Team Z will have to face teams V, W, X, and Y, where only the top 2 teams survive. This means only 55 players in total will qualify for Phase 2. Since everyone in Team Z is a forward player, they decide on the center forward through rock, paper, scissors. Really? Izuki wins the overall game, and the rest of the positions are decided within themselves. There is a catch, though. Even if a team loses, the top scorer from the losing team will also qualify for Phase 2. Very ego-inducing rule from Mr. Ego here. His parents knew what they were doing. Team X arrives in style, and Game 1 is underway. Izuki gets the ball for a moment before his teammate literally steals it off his foot because he wants to be the top scorer. Thanks to this stupid stunt, the entire field forgets they were playing football, not rugby. They all start to chase a ball like a fracking dog would, but Shohei Bado is the first one to get away with it and murders the entire defense before scoring a banger goal. Thanks to his initial leadership, Team X starts to get more organized and plays with Bado as their center. And for some reason, Team Z forgets that they can qualify as a team instead of everyone wanting to be the top scorer. Their bickering remains constant, whereas Team X literally turns into the German international team, playing as if they knew exactly how long each other's toenails were. No, I am not kidding. The game quickly gets out of hand as Baro starts to own the field like a boss. He was pretty cool and all until the time he declared himself King Bado, and suddenly all of his brain cells disappeared. They try to center all of their defenders on Baro, who is probably way smarter than anyone else on the field because he knows his teammates exist, unlike Team Z. Izuki starts to think about what Ego meant when he said create soccer from zero, which starts to seem pretty relevant on his side because Team X has already scored 2 goals. Why does no one take notice of the fact that they're losing as a team? Before we know it, Team X blasts 5 past while the zombies from Team Z still wonder who the top scorer from their team should be. With 3 minutes left on the clock, Bachida and Izuki decide to get at least 1 goal back, trying to change that 0 to 1. They play a pretty good move, which I don't understand where this was the whole game. I mean, they're center forward, so the ball literally started with them like 5 times. Oh, whatever. Bachida lofts a perfect pass, and Izuki takes great control of it. For a moment, it seems as if he might score one, but Mr. Royal gets in his way. Izuki finds himself in a pinch yet again, unable to take the decision to shoot or pass. But in the end, his body unintentionally passes to a racing Kunigami, Ichigo's illegitimate child. Nobody expects him to score from a far range, but Kunigami unleashes his Bankai and pierces right through the keeper. Raichi is not very happy about this, asking Ichigi why he chose Kunigami despite him being in a better position. This 1 goal doesn't make a difference though, and they lose the game anyways. In the locker room, they start to argue about the game. Before long, pretty boy Chigiri Infinity tells that there is more to what Ego said. Isugi clarifies the supposed meaning of creating soccer from zero. Ego, who had been listening to this conversation, takes his time to tell them they were on the right track. This little moment of assurance is short-lived, as he tells them that understanding it doesn't mean that they have the idea to work it. He leaves with a final message, telling them to focus on their individual skills and use that ultimate weapon to create soccer from zero. And that's where we're gonna leave it off today. If y'all are hyped for some more Blue Lock action, you already know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if y'all want to see more, and leave a comment down below what your favorite letter is, -2. With that, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace!